Hello, hello, hello. Thank you all for coming out. Please share the broadcast. Tonight we're talking about Alcohol Awareness Month, and we do have a special guest that will be joining us, Sergeant Alex Bryant, and he's one of my good friends, as well as a truck driver and an officer. And he's going to discuss the significance of DUIs and how it affects our truck drivers. And before he comes on, there's a few announcements I would like to make. So please share the broadcast as we talk about alcohol awareness. Um, Even though we're dealing with truck drivers, but this affects everybody. Sometimes we don't understand the significance of alcohol. And doing research, it is amazing of what alcohol can do. Last week we had Janice Pons, a psychologist on here and telling us about alcohol and the different levels and the hierarchies of when the alcohol is going to start taking effect in the different stages. So please share the broadcast. If you know someone that is a truck driver, commercial driver, share the broadcast with them as well. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So, this month is the last month, well, I'm going to say technically, before you get penalized to do your your IFTA fuel taxes. So you want to make sure that you get those taxes done before the 30th of April so that you're not penalized with extra additional fees for not having your IFTA taxes. Also, we just completed our first quarter and we're going into our second quarter as well. So I challenge you all to set your goals on making sure that you are meeting that priority for the second quarter that you have for your businesses. With this industry that we have, the commercial trucking industry, the rates are high and low in this time of the season is typically kind of slow anyway. But now, since COVID and all these other demands and retention, I would say, we have a lot of freight that is not what it used to be. Last week, you could get, $3.50 a mile. Now you're struggling to get $2.50 a mile. And then we also have people that are cutting in and underbidding that's causing a lack and a loss. So we really have to be more strategic about planning for the next quarter. Fuel costs is going to be fuel costs no matter where we go, no matter what it is that we're doing. And that's something that we're just going to have to deal with right now underneath this administration. So, if we don't like some of the things and how that's going, you can always go out and vote and make a difference. Talk to our state representatives, our congressmen, because guess what? Trucking is going to be here. This is our life. We need it, and you need it because you need your products. And so, go ahead and flood, flood your local senators, your state representatives, so we can get a decrease in the fuel costs that will give us a break. It's amazing how you look at the fuel bill. I look at the fuel bill all the time and you're spending, $1,500 to go cross country. At one point you will spend fraction of that price, but now we're spending more. So, just do your due diligence, get ready and prepare yourself for what's coming ahead for the next for the next quarter and to the end of the year. And if your business is able to sustain itself, or if you need to look at some other options for your company. So if you need some help with that, you can always reach out to me. My name is Marsha. I'm with Extraordinary Logistics Solutions, and we have a solution for your transportation needs. I should have said this at the beginning, right? All right. So this is part of our announcements for today. I want to talk to you all about alcohol awareness. So a lot of times we really don't think about alcohol awareness until there's an accident or something tragic happens, and then we start thinking about alcohol. And a lot of times when we do have accidents and we really can't tell the alcohol level of a person, guess what? Your eyes tell a whole lot. Your eyes tell the secret, right? Because the eyes can tell the blood alcohol level at the time of an accident when there's a fatality. So, in the process of doing my research, I looked in and I was checking around what was the average age of when people really started to drink, right? And so, what I found out was that about 77% of the people start drinking before the age of 21. And we look at men, 65% of the men started drinking before the age of 21. And then we have the women. The women, about 55%, started drinking before the age of 51. And in one of my studies that I did, and this is with the National Institute for Hispanics, I found that a lot of them started drinking within the last year, right? And I look at that and I look at how everything is going on within the last year. So many people started drinking alcohol to alleviate some of the issues that's going on. Now, some people may say, I may have a drink here, I may drink some wine. The doctor says it's okay if I drink, a healthy glass of wine here and a healthy glass of wine there. But everybody's body chemistry is made up differently. And there are some things that you can intake and have a high level of tolerance for. And then there's some things that you cannot. And so, with doing this topic of alcohol awareness, we're going to go through some really interesting facts because some states, this is so interesting, especially for commercial drivers. Some states, if you receive a DUI, it stays on your record permanently. And it will be hard for you to get another job, especially doing something that you love to do, driving trucks, if it's hot shot, some of these things that we really don't consider, but it takes place. So keep in mind that if you're going to drink, regardless if you're in a commercial vehicle or if you are in your personal vehicle, as long as you carry a CDL license, you will be penalized for drinking and driving, a DUI. And those costs are they are expensive. And so later on, when my guest comes on, we'll be able to talk more in depth about that and the legal side on the perspective of an officer when DUIs are involved. So, um, this topic here is really interesting. And I'm going to share a little bit of my background, just a little bit. At one point in time, I was a drinker. And in the process of me drinking, I used to drink and I used to drive. And my mother was concerned about my health, right? Not necessarily my health, but me drinking. And she told me to make a promise to her that I wouldn't drink and drive. Well, guess what? I didn't make good on that promise. I never had an accident, never, no fatalities or anything like that, no speeding tickets, no tickets or anything. So I was highly blessed in that area. But one of the things that caused me to stop drinking and driving was when I purchased my motorcycle. Yes, I do drive a motorcycle. So, anyhow, that stopped me from drinking because I knew that I didn't have that level of protection around me. But inside my mind, I knew that I couldn't enjoy doing something that I love to do, which was riding my motorcycle and drink. So I knew that if I was to go out to an event and I was to partake in a drink, I would have to have that drink early and only that one drink. And that was it because I had to get home safely. And then after that, once I started driving a little bit more and more and more, I never had that desire to drink because my passion was more so towards driving my motorcycle, riding my motorcycle than it was drinking. And I had more fun riding my motorcycle than I did drinking. So that was something that also helped me to understand the differences between what I want to do now and what it is that I love to do, and weigh the difference between which one is more important. Yes, you still have your various stresses, but when you're driving and you love to drive, then you can think about some things. When I rode my motorcycle, it just freed my mind to think about all types of things and situations and find solutions to some of the problems that I was having. Give me language to identify what those things were. And so now I do things a little bit different. Now, in my lifestyle, I'm a Christian, born again Christian, and I don't even have an appetite or desire to drink. And let alone, we are a Christian company, right? Extraordinary Logistic Solutions. We are a Christian company. And let me tell you guys, this is so funny. It may not seem funny, but it is funny because this is my experience. And so I'm going to laugh about it, right? So every time we go to haul alcohol, I have the darndest time with this load. And I really had to think about this. I said, I don't have as many problems with any other load except for when I'm hauling alcohol. And it's a shipper issue, it's nasty people at the receiver end, right? Or you don't want to pay for overtime. Well, I wouldn't say overtime, but detention time, right? So you don't want to pay for detention time. You have the driver held hostage. The items are not ready when they're supposed to be ready, and then they put more in your truck than what the BOL calls for, right? With the rate confirmation, but you don't know that to the driver's halfway down the street, and he's getting a scale ticket, right? This is my experience. I don't know about anybody else's. So I vow not to haul any more alcohol. I said, how am I a Christian company hauling alcohol across the country, right? Can't do it no more. I can't do it. So we stopped hauling alcohol. And let me tell you, hauling alcohol pays very good money, right? Hauling beer, you have to have the special insurance to haul hard alcohol. And because, of the hazmat endorsements and all that other good stuff that goes along with that package. But at the end of the day, we had to take in some considerations that, what, we just can't haul alcohol as much as we'd love to. We can't do it. I'm not going to do it, right? The money is good, but it's not that good. We can always find another load somewhere. And guess what? We always find one that pays better because we refuse to haul alcohol. Well, anyway, that's just my side story. But finding something that you love to do to replace the alcohol that you think you want to substitute whatever it is that you're going through, right? So, a lot of times when we're so stressed out, we're finding something to consume, right? It may not be alcohol, it may not be food, it may not be indulging of what you call them, the street walkers, the truck stop uh, women or men that's at the truck stop hanging out looking for a good time, right? And so when you do that, you also engage in alcohol and sometimes drug use. And guess what? That becomes a bigger issue. And the problem at the end of the day is still not solved. So what do? We have a solution for you, right? So there's always resources available. We can make the excuse, well, I don't have time. I'm always on the road. Guess what? COVID said we're going to cancel this out. We're going to open up online views for you to get your medical assistance. We open up online for AA meetings. We're opening online for various outlets, right? And also, as you're driving, you have YouTube videos, excuse me, you have podcasts, you have so many outlets that's made available to you. So we cannot use the excuse that I don't have the resources. Yes, you have the resources to combat what it is that you're going through. If you can't talk to your spouse, if you can't talk to your significant other, if you can't talk to, some people that you may or may not go to church with, or you can't talk with other friends, there is somebody that you can talk to that can help you find a solution to what's going on. A lot of times, let me tell you guys, especially in this season right now that we're in, this quarter that we're in, and you're looking at this freight and you're booking loads and you're not getting your top freight. It is real out here. Let me tell you something that I experienced. And I was in shock and I was in awe regarding the FMCSA's regulation regarding hauling produce. If you're hauling produce, you cannot go after the bond of the broker because it's exempt because you're hauling produce. And you have brokers literally out here that's getting this freight for produce and meat, right? And they are swindling people because they know it does not go against their bond. Listen to me. This is enough to try to make you want to drink, right? But there's always a solution. You don't have to go to the bottle when you done took on a load and you're looking to get $5,000 from this load and the broker's not trying to pay you. Alcohol is not the solution. This is when you need to sober up and think clearly and wisely about what you need to do next. We cannot be consumed by alcohol and forget the things that is most important to us. We have lives, we have our family, we have our lives. And guess what? At the end of the day, you have the life of that person that's in front of you as you're driving down the road. Sometimes we think we can handle it, right? We always heard that saying, I can handle my drinking. I got this under control. I know what I'm doing. One drink too many, you forget what you're doing. Your visuality is not as well as you thought it was, right? Your reaction and your response time is not the same anymore. So we really have to look at that and we really have to take it into consideration when we're behind the wheel. We do. As much as I love my truckers. I love my family, right? I pray for you all the time as I'm going down the highway and in between stops. I pray for you all. And guess what? All right, I'm a boss, so I'm always on duty, right? So forgive me for that interruption. Anyhow, so when you are when you are driving, take in consideration every facet of your life. When someone brings it to your attention that you are slurring your speech, you don't have your things together, start taking account of how long you want to start to continue drinking, right? Because guess what? A change is going to come one way or another, and it is how we're going to be able to deal with this. Okay, so my special guest is not able to join us. Maybe he'll join us on another special. Uh, but we have to really take that into consideration, right? Everything that we do, and is it really worth it at the end of the day? I would strongly encourage you to go back and watch our video that we had last week as Janice Pons gave us the mental awareness of what alcohol does and the different stages that take place. You know, Sometimes it's, you consume here, you consume there, but, when life situations is hitting you, when you have a truck notice due, when you have insurance that is due, everybody's taking out of your paycheck. And at the end of the week, you really don't have nothing, especially if you work for a large company, right? And I'm not giving no names, but you work for this large company, you own your truck or you you're leasing your truck, a lease purchase of your truck through this large company, and they bring you in and they start giving you these top paying loads. And then when it's time for that next cycle of drivers to come through, guess what? You're rotated to the mid to the back of the bus, depending on how far along you are in your lease. And guess what? You're stuck and you're bound to that lease, right? Until something else happens. Then what are you gonna do? And your truck breakdown, you're responsible for those breakdown fees. A tire goes out, $300, $200. You get recaps, all these different things that is coming in. And one of the biggest stresses that we have in this industry is swindling brokers. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Swindling brokers and people that are trying to take the money of our drivers. All these various services that people are offering, are they really standing up to the quality of work that they're producing? Right? We take that in consideration every day. And so some people are not as strong. Some people break down, right? And find the nearest solution, and that may be that glass or that can. But it doesn't have to be. It does not have to be. Even when you go back, you may be sober now, right? I challenge you to go back and look at your receipts of everything that you purchased in the last 90 days and see how much you spent in various areas, right? Look, I sit here, I'm a dispatch agent. I see the invoices. I see what my drivers spend. I see what my drivers make on a day-to-day basis, right? And at the end of the day, do they have what they need to provide for their family? As an agent, I have to make sure that I am doing my job to make sure that they get the load, right? Now, with my drivers that I have, look, I make recommendations. I just don't dispatch and say, okay, boom, you're going here, here, and here, and here. Because guess what? I work for them. They don't work for me. So I have to make sure that if they're agreeing to a certain rate or certain terms, we're all on one page, right? But I also want to get them the best that they can get for wherever they're going. If it's a reefer unit, if it's a drive-in, if it's power only. So with all that being said, alcohol can be a choice, or we can choose something different. We talked about earlier regarding, last month, kidney disease and kidney awareness and the renal system. And we don't realize how much of alcohol plays effect to the renal system, and how more alcohol, which dries out, right, that leaves you dehydrated and does not replenish you, because we're not drinking enough water, because we're always on the road. And guess what? It takes effect on our kidneys. Yes. So when you see people, especially with our men with, the belly or the pooch, we have to look and say, okay, is there something going on in my kidneys that's causing me to have toxicities in my body that is not releasing? Is it because I'm not drinking enough water? Is it because I am consuming too much alcohol? What is going on with my body, right? Because guess what? Yes, you have two kidneys. You have two. You can survive with one. But when you don't have any kidneys, then guess what? You're on dialysis, and guess what, too? You cannot work. You cannot drive and be on dialysis unless you're a jockey, a yard jockey, right? And that means that you're just moving trucks, trailers, right? From one dock in, one dock out, one dock in, one dock out. And that's not really a typical life that most people want to live. Yes, it pays the bill. Yes, you get, various benefits and all that good stuff. But guess what happens? You're not going cross country like you like to. All right. So I just want to bring that to your attention and even think about this. This we're talking about alcohol awareness, but I am going to skip in and start talking about your children. Okay, you're over the road. You don't always know what goes on when you're at home. Okay, and when you're at home, you have to also look at your children, your teenage sons, your teenage daughters, the friends that they're hanging out with. We're into prom season now. And everybody's getting dolled up. The men are getting the haircuts. Your young men, the seniors are getting a haircut. The women, hair done, nails done, got this beautiful dress going on. But there's going to be so many drunk driving accidents that can be avoided. Spend time, sit down and talk to your children because like I said earlier in this video, 65% of men or young boys was consuming alcohol before the age of 21, right? And 55% of women, young girls before the age of 21. So take time and spend this time with your children, understanding the precautions that they need to take and how important it is not to be peer pressured into drinking. Because when we're at these various proms, after prom, it's the after party. After party, this when all kinds of madness takes place that you're not always aware of. Okay? You were young once. But now we're in 2022 where technology is at the highest, right? Videos viral, right? Do you want to see a video of your son or your daughter wasted on prom night, which is supposed to be one of the most important nights of their life, right? It's prom night. Get ready to graduate high school, on your way to college, get ready to go out to the military. There's so many different things that's involved with prom night and things to look forward after prom night. I'm not telling you something that you're not aware of. And then as I'm speaking to you, it makes me wonder if this is why alcohol awareness is in in April because of prom night and what is going on. So I strongly encourage you to sit down, talk to your children to find out if they're drinking, you know, and be that parent to listen, but to find a solution to what they need. My name is Marsha Withers with Extraordinary Logistics Solutions. We have the solutions to your transportation needs. If you're looking for a dispatch agent, you can certainly contact me. We're here to service you. If you're looking for a good company to work with, we're here to help you as well. We have different owner operators that we work with that are looking for good company drivers to work with them as well. And they go across country. Some of them stay in a particular region. It is up to what that owner operator wants to do. We have those that haul with drive-in, power only, as well as with drive-in. So please subscribe to our channel and go back and watch again. We enjoy listening to your comments or watching your comments. I always reply back to your comments. And again, if you're looking for a dispatch agent, give me a call. Guess what? I'm here to find a solution for what you need. And remember, complete your IFTA reports before the 30th of April. Thank you so much and have a fantastic day. Goodbye.